Hillary Clinton has a lot of hate mail coming her way, and I don't think that's a good thing. Read her Twitter feed and you'll see a veritable smorgasbord of mean comments. Not even rational comments disagreeing with her policies, but personal, hurtful, nasty messages. Now, as you know, I don't agree with Hillary Clinton on anything I can think of, but we do share that one thing in common: haters gonna hate online. I've been called a robot, a bimbo, and my all-time favorite, an evil Barbie. It comes with the territory when you're in the public eye. But if you're Mrs. Clinton, you deal with the hate mail by having your staffers print out copies of the good messages, weeding out the negative ones, and read them to you in your safe space. Here with me now is editor of Red Alert Politics, Ron Meyer. Ron, great to have you here again.
Hey, Liz, thanks for having me on.
What did you think of the 63 pages of positive-only tweets, no negative ones, printed out for Mrs. Clinton on taxpayer-funded paper to help her feel warm and fuzzy about herself?
Well, that's not the only example of this happening. The funny thing is, the story we did on this, it's really funny. I watched a South Park episode 3 weeks ago. PC Principal, one of the most brilliant characters South Park has come up with. PC Principal makes one of the students edit out mean tweets about other students because that student, the student needs to be coddled and in a safe space, so no mean tweets can get to him. And I just made me think, this is exactly what Hillary Clinton's asked for countless times, is that she doesn't want to hear anything negative, no negative feedback. She wants to have this safe space, and it's just kind of funny. At the end of the day, you should probably want to hear the criticism along with the good, so you know where you need to improve. But the funny thing is, she printed it out on taxpayer dollars. She's asking her staff for the positive stuff only. It just seems like she's trying to shelter herself. She wants to create a safe space, just like everybody else on college campuses wants now. And so you can see it's very typical of what's happening with the progressive movement.
Right. I tend to be pretty critical of Mrs. Clinton in general, but in all truth, I don't have a huge problem with her only reading positive messages. I'm sure she's aware she receives hate mail, but do you really think it would be constructive for her to read negative messages that are just personally hateful? There is a difference between constructive criticism or negative feedback on her policies and just rude comments.
Well, I don't think it's also very normal to have a bunch of positive, over-the-top, loving tweets printed out about you either. I don't go to my Twitter feed and ask anybody on the Red Alert Politics staff to print out the nice tweets about our website. If you want to look at the feed, you look at the feed. You don't print out 63 pages of the only positive stuff to make yourself feel good after a tough hearing. I mean, that's what the Secretary of State was doing. We're judging her on if she's going to be able to stand up to Vladimir Putin. If she can't stand up to mean tweets on Twitter, should she really be president of the United States? Should anybody with that low level of tolerance be president of the United States?
No, although I would really love to have seen that situation. I would have loved to see her, in my mind, I picture her reclining back in her chair, with a cup of coffee in her hand and her staffers, fluttering papers, reading her positive tweets. It's a very comical picture. I would have liked to see that.